Okay, okay, let's get on with it. Already a bit late, and this room is full of creepy, crawly bugs right now. The rain has just brought them all out. Like, here we go. These guys are everywhere, so they'll start crawling all over me as we watch this video, do this video. You can see them flying around the background. There's basically nothing much I can do. They just find their way through the smallest of holes, even though they're quite big. And all I can do is dunk them in sort of soapy alcoholic water so they get a little drunk before they drown. It's about the best you can offer. Funnily enough, Jim Hook's here, the culprit himself. Welcome. Barry, Travis, the creepy crawlies are not the most enjoyable thing for the night. Let's try to clean up some stuff. I got that 1502 that we need to put back together before tomorrow. I gotta finish testing it. Actually, where did I put that? I need to find that chassis. Ah, there it is. By the way, I found out why last night when we were doing the 1466 that it couldn't see the solid state drive. It was because I inadvertently had picked up the wrong motherboard. The original motherboard for that machine is a 00165, which would already have the APFS usually. And yeah, I didn't realize. And then I saw this mainboard sitting in the drying oven all alone. I was like, well, who do you belong to? And then that's when it twigged to me that that was the real main board for that machine that we were doing last night. Oh, one just landed in my hair, you little mongrel of a thing. God. They're bad. They're really bad. You just gotta live with it a couple of times a year. Yeah, so as soon as I put the right main board in, what do you know, the solid state drive shows up and everything boots just hunky-dory. Funnily enough, the 3437 that I had in there by accident was a better performer than the 165 that is meant for there. Okay, let's switch over to Jim's new great present. Let's see, let's go to the overhead, hope this works. Alright, and you're probably going, oh yeah, nothing much different, but yeah, you might want to check this out. Okay, so we'll stick that border in about the middle. Let's keep going. So how far? No, out of focus. Look at that, I mean that's... You could almost work off that. Yeah, admit that's pretty damn good quality. The nice thing is, now I don't have to shift the camera around, I can just go wide to telephoto. And this is a, believe it or not, this is a 4K camera. But of course I can only utilize it at 1080 at the moment. But we'll make use for 4K in the future. 4K might let me actually find the things I'm looking for on my desk. And for those wondering, it's a Panasonic 4K VX1. Nice thing is it's got a proper Leica optics on it. Good optics make all the difference on cameras. Yeah, yep, you're out of here. Go get drunk. And hopefully the brightness control and all that sort of stuff should be better on this as well. I imagine it will be. Yeah, it's far more... It's got a broader dynamic range and it seems to be more stable. Like I said, we'll find out as we go, but it seems to be doing good. This is going through my one of my HDMI adapters, the USB to HDMI, or rather the other way around. So I'm running two of them at the moment. Oh, it's my glasses that needs the cleaning, that's right. I think one of the bugs did some bug stuff on the glasses. Yeah, Paul, we we have got a lot of rain up here. Our bridge is currently, we're about to go under. It's not a small bridge by any means either. I think the typical sort of level of the river during non-rainy season is about 12 to 13 meters below the bridge itself. And then when the river goes over, it can go anything up to about 28 meters above the bridge. Always pronounced it as what, Leica or whatever. Oh, really? And I've got a bug on my chest. Oh no, what is the proper pronunciation? I always thought it was Licia. One of the joys of not hearing properly is that you tend to make up your own pronunciations for many things. Leica. It's Leica? Hmm. Do you like her? Hey, City. This is someone complaining about 3 hours or less sleep. Tony, I completely empathise with you there. I'm going through the same sort of drama myself. No matter what I try to do, I seem to end up with the same 3, maybe 4 hours of sleep and broken at that. I think tonight we'll be working on some iPhones. Someone bought in a couple and they want the data off them, but unfortunately it's one of those scenarios where until you fix it you don't know how much you need to quote to fix it, which is very frustrating. So you somewhat have to take the gamble and hope that you're good enough to do it quickly, which doesn't really bode well for me today. Sudo, I'm very much liking the new cam. I wouldn't be using it otherwise. I do like the zoom factor and that it's, optical. I've got to get a better mount head for it up here, but for now it's, perfectly good. Because right, I'm kind of stuck in one axis of swivel on this at the moment. And I've done a near fatalistic mistake. I didn't put the fan in before the board. Fortunately I haven't screwed the board. Might be able to get away with this. There we go. With these boards you really need to take the fan and the board out together. I may still be forced to do that. Let's have a look. Can we get that assembly in? Yep, we can. The downside of a high quality camera like this is that you get to see how badly things are done. Quote the worst case scenario, but you see you also still want to capture the sail. So you're kind of hoping that it won't be the worst case. I consider worst case to be CPU replacement. Okay, you need to be the long screw. Be the long screw. Yeah, we don't have the long screw. There's a fairly long screw that goes into that hole there. And we do not appear to have that in this box. Unplug. No, batteries unplugged. What? What are you talking about? Hey Ron, welcome. The only thing, Jim, I've got to watch out for is that it seems to have an auto off on that camera, so I'll have to just keep an eye on that. And this screw is too short for... Yeah, you are way too short. This screw feels like it belongs on an A1398. It's one of those... It's the very short screw that holds onto the metal tab that sits over here, and then the SSD goes over the top. Either that or it belongs to one of these here. In terms of prices, I think this person's budget limit is going to run out at around about 175, 180 per phone, which is not a lot at all. In fact, it's barely even enough. But sometimes you're in the mood to just be a little bit charitable and still draw in a little bit of money if you can. And so you take on cases like this. Zoom back out. A lot comes down to what your work queue's like. If you're having a couple of quiet days and you think, oh well, alright, I'll take the money at... I think I've got one of those bugs crawling down my back. That's a rather unpleasant sensation. Yeah, Rodrigo. It's a bit of a gamble though, because as you know, you don't want to have people starting to expect that lower price on a constant basis. You don't want them sharing that information out. So, oh yeah, he does cheap good work, and it's like, oh hell no, don't start advertising me like that. That's pretty much all the parts this machine came with. Wait, except for these. Here, dude, you know, into the drink you go. There you go. Join your friends at the pub. The last stop pub. Jim's probably wondering where is the bug zapper that he sent over last year. Well, that's actually in another part of the house, doing a fine job. Hey Nelson. Right, this is a battery charge issue, and then we had a few other little bits and pieces that... It's also missing the rubber seal that sits here. It's not critical, but it's just another thing to note that's missing. And as for that screw, let's see if something from the 1466s can fit there. I think there's another bug in my hair. Ah, it's on my neck. Ugh. No matter how many you get rid of, believe me, there's always going to be more. No. I'm really thinking I should just stop for the night, but I mean these guys come out by the millions. And because we live on a border rural area, there is absolutely no shortage of termite mounds and nests and things like that. So when the weather is right, they come out like pitch black creatures. Just realised that overhead camera is way too good now. it actually reveals information that the other camera did not. Interesting. I don't have a charge symbol going on there, but it is charging 2.3, 2.4. It might be just that it's not showing it on the login. Oh yeah, it's charging. It just jumped up to 15%. All good. Alright. And it's definitely handling the change of the contrast on the bench, because like we've gone from predominantly black to predominantly silver, and it has not demanded that I change the settings. Hey Miles. I'm just fighting off a bug infestation right now. JCT. So once we get this done, we will pull out the iPhones and see what we can do with them, if anything. Oh, in the face. Kamikaze. Looks like I could probably push the brightness fractionally up. Nasty little SOBs. Alright, so the problem we have with this one is the person wants the data off it, but it's not charging, it's not booting. It does... There's actually two of them, but this one I think I'll try, because when I plug it in to power... I even tried with a separate dock, which is why this dock is disconnected. And it just sits at 3 milliamps. So either I've got a hard short somewhere, or I've got a bad TriStar. So we'll take this out and have a look. Let's see if we can adjust this and we can do some nice close-up. Whoops, that's not close-up. I'll just twist this up a bit. Make sure I tighten that knob pretty good, otherwise it will do that. So the other problem is the mass of the camera is quite a bit more than what this linkage system is actually meant for. Yeah, we'll leave it like that, that's good. Let's get this thing disassembled. Finally, I get to make Jason Vilmer a little jealous. Not a lot, just a little. I can also reassign that previous camera that I was using for the above as maybe one in the front area here looking back. Let's see, go a little wider. Yeah, that'll be good. Give me a little bit of room to move. Hey Basil, yep, keeping busy and well, thank you. Oh, by the way, for anyone that was wondering or knew about the fact that Tiger, one of the cats, went missing in the paddock, he did come back. Wow, that was Mr. Miyagi style, just caught in my fingertips as I... Come here. I don't know how long they're going to go for. Probably doesn't help that everybody else in the neighborhood has likely turned off their lights, which is what you do in this sort of scenario. You just turn off your lights and let the bugs go. They can fly off to wherever they want to go and die, as long as it's not in your house. But no, 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 I go and have a stream, which means I've got all my lights on as bright as I can, which of course attracts the termites like it attracts the spammers. Oh, you're a big ugly one. You're also now dead. Hey, Luke Davis. Oh, one of the rare times that the superfine Phillips head comes into use. This is a PH000 driver, and I originally thought it was a mistake. I thought it was a defective driver because they knocked the tip off it, but it is actually intended so that every now and then you get screws and they're too shallow to get a normal tapered tip into and still get a grip. Well, with the knocked off tip, you can get them. I just wish they'd simply made that more clear in the specifications document, and then I wouldn't have harassed them so much. I think we're ready to take that out. Yeah, Barry, I almost had them in my noodles tonight, so I almost found out for you. Okay, we've got fingerprints. This will be fun. What else do I need? I need the power adapter. What have we got here? Lo behold, it is the iPhone 6. It's a nice rare win when you actually pull out the right thing. Jeez, that was another crazy dive bomber. What we're going to do here is basically see what sort of current this thing is going to draw. It's either going to be nothing or it's going to be close to a dead short. So let's go. That was interesting. It momentarily jumped right up. Okay, it jumped up to 350, then shut down. And that time it did nothing. Get here. Honestly, you can fill a bucket full of those things eventually. It's booting. What? That's booting. Can't see what's wrong with that. That's weird. Solder bridge, yeah, well these aren't posi or... These are just normal Philips, but you know, they're too small to have the posi drive extra nip bits on them. I do have posi drive ones for larger setups. That's just weird. I think we should still inspect this board just in case something's going on here. Oh boy. Okay, here's where the fun starts. Let's see, microscope camera. Alright. Oh yeah, it was most entertaining trying to get the camera or the package today, because the sender used the wrong name on it and I was completely asleep when it was delivered, and the postman said to me, "This isn't your normal name, do you know this name?" And I just looked at it and went, "Nope, no idea." And it had Jim's name on it. There's nothing really for me to fault on this. It looks quite good. So why is... Crikey, the numbers are getting bigger. I must be the only light on in the whole block. Because I tried a new battery, I tried a new flex. Admittingly, I didn't try a new chassis. But yeah, this looks way too clean. Alright, have a look at the chassis. Yeah, and I've got another one on me. So I tried a different flex, so we can't actually blame that. The battery was also tried, can't blame that. Yeah, yeah, there's a bit of junk build up here, but they themselves should not cause trouble. Alright, let's plug in a screen and see what happens. Well, you all saw, yeah, I plugged it into the USB and it didn't charge. It's very strange. I feel like I'm being trolled here. Maybe bad camera. Just trying to think of the things that could cause that sort of behavior. Maybe the short just blew itself out. Yeah. There you go, straight away. OBS, there's a bug in OBS where it does not apply the camera settings properly. I'm not sure if you can actually tell OBS to stop trying to do that or not. Okay. Yeah, we're definitely drawing 3 milliamp again. Okay, let's try it without camera. Still 3. Try it without the flexes. Still 3. Press down on some stuff. Wiggle, wiggle. 3. What's going on? Okay, we'll get a test screen, fresh battery, and see if it even turns on. Starting to feel the tiredness creeping in on me. It didn't help that I put 3 batteries through the mower today. So each battery gives me anything between 10 and 20 minutes of runtime. Depending on what sort of grass load it is. And the sort of grass I'm dealing with is it's damp, tall, thick grass. So it's actually an exceptionally hefty load. So power. Interesting, it doesn't trigger. That's because they're not plugged in, you moron. Here we go. Oh, that's weird. TriStar? Anyone want to go for TriStar? That's completely ineffective as a personal security thing. Yeah, Pedro, big load. Yeah. I'm using an 82 volt Victor mower, and the packs are 2 amp hour. I can get 4 amp hour packs, which I might actually get. So I'm pretty happy though for 2 amp hour. Let's see if this thing even gets to booting stage. Yeah. Alright, I say it's possibly a TriStar, so we'll go with that. I mean, it was one of the things I listed at the start as a possibility, but I wanted to be able to, not just replace it because I'm thinking it's that. I wanted to at least have half a chance of proving it. The fact that it won't charge, but it will run off the battery, tends to lean it that way. And the fact that it's pristine otherwise. So I think we will do this one, and we will haggle the customer to see if we can get decent payback on this. Yeah, Jim, it's significantly better. I do feel like the brightness needs to come up constantly, but I think the camera's got it right. It's just that I feel like I want it brighter. We'll try that. Hopefully it's not too aggressive for you all now. Okay, the iPhone 6 TriStar, it's not the easiest, but it's also by no means hard. It's... yeah, it isn't that hard at all. Some people get a little bit horrified by the fact that it's overfilled, but it's overfill, not underfill, so it's not really a lot of a concern. Yeah, I don't think New York really produces pizza. Gotta stop wearing my glasses when I'm on the microscope. We'll just use the Chris Long drop method. The TriStar is just here. Here we go. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about, Jim. The camera goes to sleep after about 20 minutes. I'll have to find a way to turn that off. Come on. It does take a little while to wake itself up. No, I think I must have accidentally hit it twice. There we go. Good to see that pineapple pizza is causing a healthy debate in the discussion room. As healthy as eating pineapple pizza, because pineapple is good for you. I'll just have a quick look over, see if anything looks visibly blown, but I don't think we're going to see anything. Yeah, let's just get straight to the TriStar. Get our Grim Reaper out, start slashing and hacking. Yo, the Reaper's a little dirty from the last Slaughterfest. Okay, to get the overfill off, we're just doing 250. Even that's probably a little bit much. Ah, bug in the face. Yes, you will see random flybys. The Reaper is... yeah, it is Kunli. Yeah, I don't know what they really call it, but I just call it the Reaper. Okay, we're up to 390 and 40. Yeah, you gotta remember, I'm running a 9mm nozzle here, whereas most people who do iPhones on a daily basis, they use 6mm as the biggest probably. So I'm kind of overcompensating here. I may have to actually go a little higher on my air. Oh no, here we go. It's a 007 blade. So it's very nicely shaped and super fine, which is fantastic for getting in between the components. Ever consider getting a pet lizard? No need, I've got plenty of them lying, they're just everywhere around here. Lizards, snakes, birds, wallabies, they're everywhere. I don't need to keep them as pets. Instead I can just go right outside and they're out there. The best thing is, you can go and, it's a challenge to try and find them. I think there's a great deal of satisfaction when you can get to the point where you actually don't have the desire or compulsion to actually cage animals as pets, so to speak, like birds and lizards and stuff like that. I mean, there are some scenarios where you need to do that for their preservation and such, but when you live in the area like I do here, it's actually very nice to not have to worry about any of that. You just go outside and have a little bit of a treasure hunt and try and see what you can find. At night time, spiders are the easiest by far. You just shine a torch around, see where your little reflections are on the ground, and you've pretty much found a spider. Right now I'm finding these flying ants. It's not too dissimilar, Pedro. A little bit smaller. Ow. Damn. Ow. Okay. So these guys need a bit more drink. Okay, my only concern here is this pad is a little bit on the high side. I just want to knock it down a little bit more without, hopefully without taking off the pad. Yeah, that pad is actually surprisingly marginal, which does not fill me with confidence. Alright, let's hope that I actually have a TriStar, because I do seem to recall the last time I was thinking I didn't have any. They're attracted to my brilliance, that's what it is. Ha ha ha. U1502, no. L1503, certainly not. Nope. 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 Don't make me have to steal one from an iPhone 7 or something. I was expecting a whole bunch of USB ports to turn up today too. They didn't, which is a bit disappointing. 16A3B. That will do very nicely. Right. Gonna make sure I remember. Oh, I don't know why I never remember. Okay, so pin 1 is inwards and away from the memory chip. Jolly good. So a bit like that. Bikes, cars and gun? Yes it is. Can't seem to find my preferred probe. Oh well. Someone's been naughty down here and right. That's barely acceptable. Bikes, cars and guns, you got you out and back. That's good. Yeah, you can get back to work, eh? I've made this difficult for myself because of the fact that I am not running. There we go. Let's go a little more. Crank up the extractor more, yeah. That's actually a good point. The bugs might just get drawn in. Mind you, it's surprising the sort of winds that bugs can fly against successfully. Like, you look at butterflies and you think there's no way they could fly anywhere remotely successful. Yeah, Anonymous repaired. Normally I will actually hot air wick those pads, but I just didn't do it tonight. And naturally, of course, the night I don't do it, someone decides to point out that I should do it. Yeah, that is wicking the pads. That's just the power of the internet for you. You can be guaranteed if you decide one night to not do something or do something different from your usual way, there will always be someone there to remind you. YouTube audience is like an all-seeing eye. Alright, we have to put it back into the chassis. Let's see if it takes... We want to see it take about 70 milliamp periodically when running just off the dock with no battery. And then obviously with the battery in, we want to see it charge. So we go for the dock only attempt first. There's probably no real reason for me to do it staged like this. I just prefer to do it that way. Crazy uncle. I am the crazy uncle. And yep, we've got our 70 milliamps. So looks like we were indeed a TriStar victim. I'm kind of pushing my luck here by leaving these coaxial lines floating around, but this is the internet, and I will continue to be a daredevil. Actually, I don't really recommend being a daredevil customer gear, but in this particular case we should be just dandy fine once I can actually get it in. Go. The battery's probably flat. There you go, we're starting to charge now. The battery was... Let's see if there is a way to turn off this. It's a HCVX1. HCVX1. Disable sleep. Using Steambar. Under power settings, change economy. Okay. I gotta do this upside down. Like we're doing Apollo 13 style here. Set up. Oh, I see you get to see all the details too. Select operator power at least. Nah, that's That doesn't seem to be what I'm after. Economy AC is probably what we're after. Off. And external display is meant to be off, because if I have the external display on, that's when it displays all the icons while you're linked up, and you don't want that. Alright. Hopefully now it shouldn't turn off. Basically it was in a power reduction mode before. The camera is drifting due to its mass. That's kind of scary. We're still charging at 750. Feels like it could be an old battery. Let's give it another couple of minutes and it should be good. So yeah, Jim, it's certainly working very well. It's certainly a lot clearer, more stable on the brightness. It'll be an interesting test to see if I do it tomorrow during the daylight, because obviously the contrast between daylight and artificial nightlight is quite significant. Yeah. So we got ourselves some bug soup served up at a canteen near you. Bikes, Cars and Gun. Yeah, the shift to the FX 951 is a very nice shift. It's obviously a lot more costly. Nusacat I am only encoding at 1080 anyway. So you're actually not missing out on anything. My machine, no way my machine can handle 4K. When I do upgrade the machine, I'll be upgrading it so that I can do 60 frames per second, so 1080 60. And then I will probably maybe jump up to 2160, so 2K. But they'll be a while away. Hey Peter Jordan, yeah, they're termites. Yeah, Jim, with the outdoor mode, if I take it out and about, then the Rode mic should come up very nicely with it. Is this thing not charged yet? It's taking forever. Put them in some terps and make some shellac. We can make some bug flux. How's that sound? Yeah, shellac is quite potentially possible. They're in metho at the moment. Metho and water. So they get drunk and then they drown. When I say metho, it's ethanol, not wood spirits. Yeah, this is the new highly advanced privacy filter. Oh, come on. Boot already. Hopefully if this is just a TriStar, I'll be happy. Have I got one on my beard? Yep. And then it went down to my crotch. It doo-dooed on me. Gross. Alright, I'm getting impatient here, so I'm gonna get a replacement battery. Probably one of the bigger problems with... Wait, I don't even know... Oh yeah. One of the bigger problems with these bugs is not so much the ones that you find, but rather the ones that crawl into your equipment and die. And then months later your equipment fails and you're wondering why. And you open it up and you find that all these critters have gotten in there. I speak from experience on that one. Yeah, these ones are quite big, and we do also get the smaller pale ones, which stink a lot more. These ones don't stink so much, but they are physically annoying. Okay, so we've got a boot, got a cough. Sucking in too many bug wings. Could have been the battery. No, we did try with a different battery originally, and we tried with a different dock connector, and we tried with external power, and that's the only thing that would work is external power. I'm just grabbing a few more of the bugs before they run off into places I don't want them to go. Alright, so we've got a boot here. You can't see it because the brightness is way down on it. I'm just going to check to see that it's charging. 1.8 amps. So battery's dead, TriStar dead, screen dead. Normally that combination would easily cost a person about $220, if together, but I don't think I'm going to see anything better than about 170 out of this person for this job. Now in terms of my actual costs, the screens are about $30. That's for the high-end ones. The battery is about $20 for the high-end ones. So $50, 120 for the work. Yeah, I'm still ahead. Peter, I do have one of those, which funnily enough Jim sent, but it's up at the other end of the house, protecting other areas. I swear I already pre-did a screen for this. I'm trying to think where it is. Crap. Because as you can see, I have all the parts for it, including that. And oh, it looks like I didn't bother to fully assemble it. Pseudocolor, you mean the one I'm using right now, or the one I would like to get? I do get a battery icon with the old battery. But it stays at about 750 milliamp and doesn't waver from that, which is a little strange because normally if you are at a discharge state, you will sort of, if you're really bad, you'll start out at the trickle charge of like 100 milliamp maybe, and then you should jump up to pretty quickly to 1.5 amp, up to 2 amp once you've got a little bit more juice into you. But when you stay at 700 or so, then there's something else going on. We need to put the shield back on this as well. The one you'd like to have. Yeah, actually I haven't really given much thought into that. I didn't get to have much thought into this one either. This was sort of forced upon me because it was a dud purchase for another person, unfortunately. Get out of here, bug. No, I gotta do this one under. Chances are the battery itself, it could just be simply an age thing. Maybe it's not the worst, maybe it would come back up, but I sort of would rather, lose the money for the battery to ensure that it actually worked without them bringing it back to me later saying it was working fine, but then. So you don't want that but then crap, or since you touched it crap. It takes forever this solder to cool back down. I'm just having to hold bugs in my other hand while I wait for this. Okay, that's good. Oh wow, that's terrible. It's massively out of alignment. Yeah. Okay, we're gonna have to bring that back. These bugs are starting to really get to me. We'll get there, Travis. We'll get there. We'll start crossing the international boundaries. Yeah, it's still cooling off. Now, unfortunately, the coax is actually pretty tough when it comes to heat, especially that I'm only using about 390. Okay, finally that's cooled down. On the other hand, when you do have an exposed coax internal, as in that nice soft plush white core, that stuff loves to melt. As long as you don't expose it, it seems to do alright. Well, let's get this battery out. Yeah, we'll do it. You'll probably find it's got a date code of 2017 or something like that. (2015). This is an old one. Second 2015. This is almost 7 years old. That's pretty good going. 7 years old and it hasn't puffed up like a crazy man. Travis Stamper, yes, I use Vim. You see, it depends what you're already used to programming with. Vim is only good if you're used to programming in Vim. If, on the other hand, you're used to some sort of IDE system, then maybe you're better off with something like Eclipse or I don't know. There's a lot of other editors, code editors in Linux. Vim is really a way for identifying the crazy people, which is why I use Vim. Vim is for people who have PTSD from using Unix in the 70s and 80s. There is a more severe case of that kind of situation, and that is called an Emacs user. So if you find someone who's using Emacs, then they are far, far too far gone. And you're better off just leaving them in a darkened room and telling them that Richard Stallman loves them. Oh, g'day, Pianov. I have tried Eclipse a couple of times. I think the most pronounced thing that I notice is just how awfully slow it is. Even on a reasonable system, you have to have some seriously good hardware to run Eclipse quickly. And that's just performance. I don't know even how to rate it in terms of, as an actual editor, performance aside. I took my SIM tray. Ew, Nano. Ugh. Nano is for DOS and Windows users pretending to use Unix. Look at me, I use the command line. Yeah, sorry, you can't trick me with that. What you can trick me with is... What the hell did I do the screws here? Ah, shoot. Did I put them on another magnetic pad? Get out of here. Well, I am really getting attacked. It's like Alfred Hitchcock the bugs. Ah, here we go. I did put it on another magnetic sheet. Die, bomber. To be fair, by the way, I do generally prefer to use GVim as opposed to just console Vim, standard Vim. Even though there's not a massive amount of difference between the two in terms of functionality, I just feel more comfortable in GVim. And at the end of the day, that's what you want. You want to feel comfortable with whatever you're using so that you can worry more about coding than the tool you're using to do the coding. Nikita.net's been honest here, eh? You take the fun out of it when you do that, Nikita. Which I suppose was your plan. Bikes, cars and guns. Working up to the guts to do an audio IC on a working 7 Plus. Ooh. It is a little nerve-wracking, I will grant you that. Because you no doubt will be worried about doing damage to the baseball baseband PMIC, or is it the baseband CPU that's on the other side? So it is a justifiable concern in my opinion, because if you do cook it a little too much, then it is a very painful process to recover from that. In many ways, it's easier just to offer the person a replacement phone and keep that one as your shame phone, and then try and fix it yourself over the couple of years. And it happens to pretty much everybody that I know of. Sorry, I'm looking for my glasses. Are they on my head? Oh, they're in my neck. But yeah, to the best of my knowledge, every tech that does the audio I see on an iPhone 7, 7 Plus on a regular basis at least has one or maybe two where the baseband, forget it, it's getting late, where the baseband balls give out and they have to go and rework that. Like I said, if that was me, I would probably just go and find someone a working 7 or 7 Plus, migrate them across and call it a day. What is on your head? Dude, where have you been? You've been tripping out somewhere. Come here. Hey, Vlodum. Yeah, Margarita, yeah, they're getting everywhere, the little feisty little so-and-sos. So grind out or chip out the very hardened, dry, crusty human element on this here. This is 80-20 alcohol. Just need that 20% to break down the dirt, and the 80 to cut through. The only trouble when you use the alcohol on these is that generally it kills the adhesive. But I don't want to leave all this human grime built in. Yeah, it looks better. I think we'll put some additional adhesive down here on the if I can find it. Oh, there we go. Has anyone tried using something like B7000 glue in this region rather than tape? Is it worth trying? Oh, gotcha. Oh, Now I'm in trouble. Jason Vilmer crying at me. I'm just gonna tell him that he's lame. Try and make him cry a little more in life. He seems too happy in general. Hey English Hedgehog, why does your name always give me grief when I try to say it the first time? The English Hedgehog. In a funny way, your name forces you to have to speak proper English. You can't just slur through it or anything like that. You have to enunciate it properly. Hey Jaguan, how are you? What's more challenging in phones? AMU, you're going to give me two to pick from, or are you just asking in general? I think doing CPU replacements, migrations to recover data is probably the pinnacle of board repairs. And of all the phones, I think it's the iPhone 6, I believe, that is one of the most difficult to do due to the very thin CPU and RAM assembly. Don't quote me on that, but that's my understanding anyway. Wiggle wiggle, get in. Nicholas Rossi, no, there really isn't a strict schedule. It's a case of whenever the opportunity arises. Often enough it will be around about this time on a weekday night. Often enough. The best thing is to just religiously check every 5 minutes. And then there'll be very little disappointment. 6S is just as hard with added bonus of RAM getting swollen. The RAM getting swollen on, yeah, that I've seen happen. I think I was just playing around for myself, and I thought, let me try and see if I can get the CPU off a 6S, and you're right. Swelling RAM was pretty much the first thing that I noticed. Fortunately, it was my own beaten up old board, but it was still a bit of a shock to see that happen. I've got a bug on my neck. It's gonna bite and bleed me dry. Ah, gotcha. It should really be just called Repairs in the Amazon or something like that. Speaking of which, I watched the Daniel Radcliffe movie the other night, Jungle, and yeah, it was a good enough show to watch, and it was certainly pretty scary seeing some of the things he had to go through. But I got to admit, it was more a case of you spent the movie sympathizing, empathizing, feeling bad, sort of experiencing his pain a little bit. But when it comes to Lost in the Wilderness type movies, then I'm a complete moron because I just put together the screen assembly and I haven't put back all of the board parts. That's what I get for talking on YouTube. Anyway, yeah, when it comes to that kind of movie, then still nothing touches The Revenant. I mean, the movie, The Revenant, pretty much from the word go, you just spend your whole time clutching your butt cheeks and wondering how much worse can this get. You really, it's a visceral experience, I think. Whereas Jungle was more of a like, you could still distance yourself from it. Move to the UK, nice climate. Huh? Yeah, that's a funny one. Well, Margarita, don't give her ideas. She's got enough ideas to get written for the next century. I'm gonna have to make sure she gets her life extended simply so she can finish writing the books. Yeah, this is that screw that has the very shallow recess on it, so I'll have to actually tighten that down with the triple O tip. Oh, here we go. We're going to have a bug fight, bug war now. My bug's bigger than your bug. Let's just accept that it's pretty rotten no matter where you are. Be it Brazil, Africa, Australia. It's all pretty damn nasty. Swatter Man, is that kind of going to be along the lines of the Lawnmower Man? And I'll just infest your brain and constantly be swatting it? No, it's not a standoff screw. Because for the standoff screws I've got this driver. It's what looks like a normal screw, but the Phillips groove that they cut into it, instead of going down deep, it's just a very shallow one. And so when you use a normal, what is that, about 45, 60 degree tip, it doesn't bite. Oh yeah, that's right, yes, I got to 26. I think once you get to 25, you sort of just wait around for 30 and 30, 40, 50. And I think after 50, you probably wait for 75, and then of course you're waiting for 100. Once you get to 100, you just give up, go home, put that YouTube silver plaque on the wall, and retire. Hey, Azia, yes it has been a while. How have you been? What have you been up to? And thank you for thanking Jim for the new cam. It's definitely quite a gem. It'll be better once I get a suitable ball swivel mount on it, so that I can adjust it to focus on what I'm working on. Because right now I'm sort of just relying on being within the boxed area, whereas with the proper mount I'll be able to like get it to really focus on wherever I am. Let's see, let's push that one down, put the plate in. My Wi-Fi card on my laptop is broken. There's going to be a million reasons for that. But I have to thank you though, because you just reminded me that I have a laptop here that I have to check the keyboard status on, because I don't know if it's a bad deck or if it's a bad mainboard. And I have to work out which is which before tomorrow, so that means I've got to do that right now. Once I find my blue screwdriver. Green, not red. Here we go, blue. Hopefully the brightness should stay up proper this time. Once you get to 100,000, you finally get your CNC machine. Once I get the house, I can get my CNC machine. Or in the workshop, things like that. Getting the house is turning into quite the rigmarole. So if you ever decide that you want to become a sole trader, then I recommend strongly, right from the day go, prepare to have to buy your house as cash. Just if you go with that mindset, then you're going to be fine. If you're hoping that the banks will loan you money, then it's going to probably cost you more than just grey hairs. Okay, so this is all good. It's 62%. We're showing charge. We're drawing 1.6 amps. So brilliant. That's fixed. It'd be funny if they didn't have any data on here though. That'd be a laugh. General about. What do they got? It's a 64 gig one, and they've got 2,500 photos. Okie dokie. They're going to be glad to have that one backed up. AMU. It depends on. It's a common question, but it's difficult to answer because I think everybody's motivations are quite different. So I mean, what brings you to the repair world? Do you have an interest already in something? And you're allowed to say simply that you're doing it for financial reasons. You feel like it's a growing market and you want to capitalize on the ability to make money. I mean, who wouldn't? Do you have prior electronics experience? Things like that. Tony W, off-topic question. Have you got different OBS layouts for your new meter software? It seems... Oh, yeah, it's because I haven't unified everything yet. It's because I only just got the GW Instech, and I've pretty much only been testing the software. So I haven't gone through and unified everything to make it look consistent, but yeah. Thank you for pointing out my inadequacies as a human being and not being able to stay up 24/7. You make me feel wonderful. Thank you so much. But yeah, it's because of that. Okay, so I'm just trying to clear some space because this is actually well, it's a big laptop. It's a 15.4 inch laptop. We don't normally deal with things that big around here anymore. What's with the spare parts? What you mean? Or like these bits? Or the fact that there were extra bugs? I'm going to put those bugs into Flexboard View for Lewis Rossman. They're going to be just for Lewis Rossman. So when he opens up a board view and he complains that it's upside down, then I'm going to unleash these bugs from the upside down world. You says you can't stay up for 24 hours. Well, you can, yeah, I agree. Just not for very long. You can try. Usually 2 or 3 days you might be able to get away with. And then things go all crazy. Oh, they're learning to escape. Needs to be more alcohol there. It needs to be like an English pub. Just alcohol everywhere. Alright, I gotta find this laptop. Oh, aha, a laptop. We're gonna have to zoom out for this one. Ah, that is so awesome being able to do that. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Now if only I could find my paper toweling again. That is one thing I'm going to be very happy as well with the new workshop, is to have a fixed place for paper towel. Having a fixed place for basically everything you can makes life so much easier. There is one crawling up my legs right now. It is a most unpleasant feeling. The real laptop. Yeah. Get out. That's it. I can't handle. Get out. Honestly, I'd almost rather a Eastern Brown crawling up my leg. At least as long as you don't make any sudden movements, they won't bite you. Oh, we got a bar strip on the... I think that was the damaged one. It's, Andrew, that's not the problem. The problem is that they're getting in through just small cracks and gaps in the walls, everywhere like that. There's another one in my leg. This is an undesirable experience for sure. Let's see if they can keep all the screw sizes consistent. That'll be nice. I do like my Lenovo's, but I have to say sometimes, or at least when they were IBM, they had this obsession with using many different screw sizes. It was truly an undesirable thing. Travis, the problem is that the keyboard is not detected. The trackpad is, power button does, the keyboard is not. So it could well just be a dud keyboard. If it's a deck failure, then this is going to be a no fix. If it's a mainboard failure, like maybe a bit of corrosion on the connector, or maybe just a failed cable, although it is integrated into the deck, then we might look at fixing it. But yeah, if it's a deck, yeah, got you, you bastard. You one-winged bastard. Oh, you dropped your wing off to escape. Oh, smart. The main reason is that the cost of the decks is a little ridiculous for these things. I think I'm just, don't know why, but I was zoomed out. In rather. Rubberized trousers, yeah. Given that this is only an occurrence for a couple of days a year, or a couple of nights a year, I think I'll forgo taking such drastic measures. Hey Greg, welcome. Great, more screws. This is why I like Macs. You have what, 6, 8 screws up the top, undo them, bam, you got access to the main board. PCs are like, we're better than Macs because we can be serviced, but you kind of have to go through a million hoops and pretend you're Indiana Jones sometimes to avoid the nasty little traps we leave. But we're serviceable. Also, we won't let you have board views and schematics, but we're serviceable, unlike Apple. Okay. And what happens here is that over the years the rubber tends to fuse with the plastic of the chassis. Okay, what do we got? 1 terabyte Western Digital. That's going to be borderline. Let's see if I've got any screws left. No, I think we're good. And now we begin the process of finding out whether this is a top or bottom based assembly. It's going to be a bottom base, sorry, keyboard deck integrated. Of course it is. Hello, what have we got? Ooh, someone bought a copy of Flexboard View. Thank you, if you're on channel. That's the thing, yeah, some people rules. I hate this. There better not be any screws under here. I'll be mad if there are. It doesn't feel like it, but I'm going to check anyway. But I don't think there are. It just doesn't have that feel. It's not angling here the right way. Nah, it's not. Business laptops are the only way. Agreed, yeah. You do notice a significant improvement in the build quality of the business ones and accessibility. Okay, let's try the split. I hate that they have latches and screws. It's like, why can't you just have one or the other? No, you gotta make latches and screws. Or just make the damn things out of metal or magnesium or something. Stop with this plastic madness. Yeah, it's becoming crowbar time indeed. It's not Timmy time, it's crowbar time. Or Timmy goes bananas time. I don't know if anyone knows what Timmy time is. If you've got children in Australia, you probably do. Timmy time is pretty cool. Alright. Yeah. This looks like it's going to be a deck failure. There's a bug in the deck. So everything in these consumer laptops, these PC laptops, it's flimsy. It's, you know, you got random bits of tape here and there. Things are just kind of like, oh yeah, we'll make that fit there, and oh, a little bit of slop here. What that screw there? Why is that there? Did I rip that through? I don't think I did. Nope. So why are you there, screw? What's your purpose? Oh, I know. You are for the NVMe. This bug here that you just saw run past. Do not attack them. Do not antagonize them. Just let them do their thing. Otherwise, they emit a smell that honestly reminds me of leaking PCBs. I'm not talking about circuit board PCB. I'm talking about polyvinyl boral chlorates or whatever they are. It's a nasty smell, and that particular bug that ran off, they seem to be able to replicate it, or at least I think it smells like that. It gives me trauma. It really traumatizes me when I smell it, because I think, oh god, I think what has blown in the kitchen now? Yeah, what piece of electrical equipment has busted its internal oh, look at that, that's just floating around. Yep. Yeah, what piece of equipment's busted its internal transformer or whatever? Well, I agree you can't compare them, Celia, I do agree, but then you do see this quality pretty much all the way up to the $1,000 ones as well, on the consumer level. I mean, I know there's been plenty of them that have come in here, and even the so-called elite ultrabooks and things like that. And they even try to replicate the MacBook style of things, but they don't do a very good job of it. Yeah, there's the formic acid ones, but this is a different smell again. Okay, I get the feeling this deck has actually been replaced before. The reason why I feel that is because we have a 3M unpeeled off sticker here. I'm not even sure how that would have worked. Yeah, that's pretty weird. Yeah. Well, I think the power saving thing has fixed this up now. Yeah, the trackpad's fine. Keyboard is not. Does Toshiba produce laptops anymore? They used to be quite popular around here, and certainly I had no problem recommending them in general. But then they just kind of vanished, and HP sort of ate their market. It's like they gave up on the consumer market or something. They went bankrupt. Oh, okay. Crazy. Well, I'm just going to sniff around here. See what I mean? I mean, look at this. There's no pride in the build at all. I mean, look, I'm not expecting 5-star or anything like that, but it really is a sort of slapped together. There are some PC setups that are quite nice, but it is a little sad when you find these sort of ones. It reminds me of when you get those $30 tablets. Okay, that's fine. And you think, wow, they actually managed to make a tablet for $30. That's pretty damn impressive in itself. I'm just going to check the board, see if maybe there's a bit of corrosion somewhere. Okay, now that there definitely I say is corrosion, but unfortunately that's for the display. It's got nothing to do with the, and also in this case the contacts are on the underside, so it's really got nothing to do with that. That's annoying when you find what you think is going to be a fault and then realise it's got nothing to do with what you're looking for. Interesting choice of battery, 1220. As opposed to a 32 style one. Yeah, I think pretty much this is going to be a deck replacement, in which case, yeah, I'm going to just say let's write it off. Because replacing the deck on these is quite a process. Because everything has to come off, get transferred to the new deck. Yeah. Well, we'll plug it back in. Let's see if it works at all. Yeah, maybe it was just a loose cable. Sometimes it can be that simple. The lack of securing screws disturbs me. Did you try to load the BIOS defaults? No, I didn't yet. I just said I'd dig straight in and see what was going on. Yeah, what are you? What colour? You're black. Okay, not sure I've got a power brick for this one. Let's hope we've got some battery power. And we've got battery power. Okay, so that must be functioning. I guess I better protect the user's identification codes and take it away from your spying eyes. Oh, yeah. Sorry, unfortunately, it can be difficult when you're not 24/7. Exactly, Greg, yeah. It's just the economics really fall away very fast on PCs. Oh man, just feeling this thing grind. How do people live with spinning hard drives anymore? Okay, I got a trackpad, but it's intermittent. Probably because it's spinning the hard drive. Spinning hard drives for storage are fine, Felix. I mean, I keep quite a few myself for that. But for the actual crikey, right, Paul gets upset that there wasn't screws holding that battery in, and that is why, because it just came flying out. Could have hurt him. Could have got bitten, mate. It's interesting, the power button is working. Nothing else works. Yeah, maybe I will take the board out. Damn it, why do I get suckered into this? Welcome to the Paul Daniels gets suckered into doing more work on a job that he's going to write off anyway. Yeah, I know, I'm being naughty, pulling from the cable. Don't need to tell me the mistakes I'm doing in life. If I check the time, it's crikey, it's almost 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm gonna have to head upstairs and get some coding done. Though I'm probably going to feel too tired. As soon as I go upstairs, I'm going to start feeling tired and just want to crash. And then I will sit around feeling tired for the next 5 hours until the sun comes up. Okay, why... Do not tell me that that screw also goes through to the... Yep, didn't think so. Oh no, I know what they've done. Who comes up with these ideas? Okay, let me guess. That nut goes through. Why? Now I gotta find a pair of pliers. Razer laptops? No thanks, yeah. I had some people try to offer that opportunity to me, and I knew what the Razer community can be like. And I responded with a hell no. I don't have a death wish. At least not today. Dude, get out of here. Sign your death warrant coming over here. No, I wouldn't say sleep aids are needed. I mean, yeah, okay, probably they are, but I just simply have to offload a whole bunch of things. But once the house gets settled in terms of deed and loan, then I'll probably find I can sleep quite a bit better. Okay, so this is the keyboard area. Could have sworn this is the EC chip. There's a little bit of junk on there, but it's not corroded, it's just junk. My guess is something got into the keyboard and it just ruined it. It might even be the flex itself. Ah, there's a bug on the back of my neck. Ah, that is a terrible sensation. Not as bad as a European cockroach, like the ones that are about 5 centimeters, 2 inches in length. It's not as bad as one of them landing on you, because the feel is bad enough, but then the psychological knowledge of their filthy little habits, and they're just smearing all that trash on you. No, this looks perfectly fine. Yeah, I know about the melatonin. I'm just it's probably going to mess up something else in my life. Like I said, once the house is settled, I think my soul will be considerably more at rest. I need to focus on that. No, no, no. This is a no fix because of the deck. And I've already discussed with the customer this situation, and they have agreed with me that if it is a deck replacement, we basically just bin the machine. And it looks like that's what we're going to do. Which is a bit of a shame. Like, I'm sure the main board's fine, but because of the cost of lack of availability in general of decks, which tends to lead to their cost increase, we're just going to go ta-ta, bin job. Sad. We're going to leave it at that. I've done enough waffling. I think we can all agree that Jim's camera is definitely a significant improvement over the Logitech one I had. I mean, the Logitechs are fine for what they are, but this is undoubtedly a considerable improvement for sure. If a keyboard, USB keyboard works, just get some double side. But then how do you close the lid on it? Alright, I am out of here, so thank you very much for watching. Thank you again, Jim, as always, for all the crazy things that you send to my doorstep. You're going to have to stop it now, though. I think you need to find yourself a new victim. There's other people out there who are probably more deserving of this kind of generosity than I am, but it's not to say it's not appreciated, for sure. I mean, this is a very fine piece of equipment which will certainly be around for quite a while now. Alright, I'm out here. Thank you very much, everybody. I will see you maybe tomorrow. We'll see what the postman brings, and maybe he may even ring twice. I'll catch you later. See yous.